If you're tired of dating advice that promotes playing games, acting desperate, or disrespecting women, you've come to the right place. This video is for those who want to know how truly smart, mature men act around women they're interested in. Forget the toxic tactics. We're diving into the real principles that create genuine, meaningful connections without compromising your values or self-worth. Stay tuned as we reveal the 10 key strategies that will transform your dating life and show you how smart men attract women with respect, confidence, and authenticity. 1. Smart men never place women on a pedestal. While it's good to be respectful, the second you begin to idolize and put a woman up on an unhealthy pedestal is when you start shooting yourself in the foot. By elevating her to such unrealistic heights, you undermine her ability to see you as an equal partner worthy of her affection. You transform from a human being into a puppy dog begging for scraps whenever she calls. Smart, self-respecting men avoid this at all costs. They keep their feet planted on the ground of reality. The pedestal effect stems from a neediness to be accepted and validated by the woman. When you let these insecure thoughts take over, it causes you to filter your words and actions through the lens of, what will make her like me? This is the quintessential, nice guy, always seeking approval instead of stating his authentic wants and needs. Ironically, this approval-seeking behavior has the opposite effect of pushing women away. The smart man knows his value comes from within, not from any external source. He treats himself with the same love and respect he shows others. He voices his wants unapologetically and isn't afraid to be polarizing and filter out those who don't align. It's this strong, grounded sense of self-worth that naturally attracts women. 2. Smart men never treat romantic interests like celebrities. Following off the pedestal point, smart men are also careful not to treat potential love interests like A-list celebrities to be worshipped from afar. Putting someone up on this type of untouchable pedestal makes your job infinitely harder. It creates an unnecessary power imbalance where you've predetermined she's out of your league before you've even spoken a word. The truth is, no matter how attractive or accomplished the woman, she's still a normal human being with flaws, insecurities, and doubts just like the rest of us. Smart men don't buy into the social media highlight reel that we're bombarded with. They're able to separate the authentically impressive qualities from the superficial fluff. They appreciate her as an individual without getting caught up in any delusions. This grounded mentality allows them to be relaxed, confident, and at ease when meeting someone new. There are no pedestals or power imbalances getting in the way, just two people connecting as equals. The smart man treats that initial approach and interaction like anything else in life, not some big audition to impress, but simply an exploration of synergy. 3. Smart men never seek validation from external sources. Whether it's basing your self-worth on your career, material possessions, or, yes, even your ability to attract partners, the second you become reliant on external sources for validation is when you begin to seal your own romantic fate. You see, people can smell neediness and desperation from a mile away, and unfortunately, neediness is the opposite of what creates attraction. It reeks of insecurity and inadequacy, a subtle cry of, "You're better than me, please validate me." Not exactly the vibe that makes anyone weak in the knees, is it? Smart men are the ones who go inwards for their validation and fulfillment, not outwards. They have rich inner lives, defined values, and intrinsic motivations. They don't base their self-worth on anything as fickle as others' opinions, but on their own integrity and lived experiences. 4. Smart men never try to be something they're not. Putting on an act or pretending to be someone you're not in hopes of impressing your date is a house of cards just waiting to collapse. Why? Because fundamentally, that person you're portraying isn't congruent with your authentic self. The smart man knows that lasting connections can only be built on a foundation of honesty and vulnerability. He's open about his quirks, passions, and even insecurities from the start, knowing that real intimacy blossoms when two people are able to embrace each other's true selves without judgment. By having this abundance of authenticity, the smart man avoids getting caught up in the exhausting rat race of constantly maintaining a facade to seem more desirable. His vibe is one of, This is me, imperfections and all. Take it or leave it. And it's this realness and personal power that paradoxically makes him irresistible. 5. Smart men never chase or pedestalize romantic interests. We've touched on the dangers of putting romantic interests up on a pedestal, but smart men take it a step further. They don't chase after anyone, ever. Why? Because desperation and thirst are, sadly, among the most repulsive qualities in dating. The smart man recognizes that no amount of grand gestures, sweet talking, or gift-giving will make someone feel sustained desire for you. In fact, these overt attempts at gaining affection often have the opposite effect, painting you as another thirsty admirer idolizing them. It's needy, places them on a pedestal, and subconsciously makes them view you as beneath them. Instead, the smart man is willing to walk away from someone who doesn't reciprocate mutual interest and admiration. His sense of self-respect doesn't allow him to grovel or negotiate for a romantic opportunity. He either receives a "hell yes," or he politely moves on. This mindset is a vibe that romantic interests can't resist. 6. Smart men never hide their standards out of fear of rejection. Whether romantic or platonic, fear of rejection causes many to settle for less than they deserve. They'd rather deal with crumbs and lukewarm situationships than risk putting themselves out there and potentially facing rejection. The smart man couldn't care less about rejection because he has unshakable standards that he won't compromise. He makes his interests and needs known up front, knowing that real, lasting connections can only be built through vulnerability and truth. Better to get rejected for his authenticity than to water himself down and accept mediocrity. This fearless approach also weeds out those who aren't an ideal fit. The smart man would rather be alone than trapped in an unfulfilling relationship with someone who can't meet his needs. 7. Smart men never make romantic pursuits their sole focus. While dating and relationships are an important part of life, the smart man recognizes they aren't everything. His sense of fulfillment and identity comes from a rich variety of sources: his career, hobbies, friend circles, personal growth, and more. By avoiding an obsessive single focus on romantic pursuits, he maintains a grounded perspective. His vibe isn't one of desperation, clinging to potential partners as sources of validation. Rather, it's one of being already whole and pursuing connections from an authentic place of interest and choice. This relaxed abundance mentality is incredibly appealing. 8. Smart men never engage in power struggles or mind games. Whether intentionally or not, too many people approach the dating world as a battleground where they must implement manipulative strategies and psychological tricks to gain power over romantic interests. It's an adversarial, me versus them, mentality, completely devoid of trust and authenticity. The smart man avoids these destructive mind games at all costs. He has no interest in one-upping or gaining power over his partner. His sole intention is to foster a cooperative, straightforward dynamic of mutual understanding. Calculated moves like hot-cold behavior, withholding intimacy, or playing emotional push-pull only serve to undermine that goal. Instead, the smart man prioritizes clear, respectful communication where each person's wants and boundaries are voiced. He's emotionally mature enough to have the uncomfortable conversations when needed to course correct. This foundation of teamwork and trust, rather than adversarial game playing, is what cultivates profound intimacy. 9. Smart men never lose themselves in pursuit of a partner. While companionship is natural for humans to desire, the smart man avoids the pitfall of completely subsuming his identity and independence into a relationship. He's cultivated a fulfilling life outside of romance that he has no interest in sacrificing. This ability to maintain autonomy and boundaries prevents him from ever becoming codependent or losing his sense of self in pursuit of romantic validation. The smart man knows his partner can walk away at any time, so he doesn't revolve his entire reality and daily decision-making around them. His vibe is, "You're an incredibly fortunate addition to my life, not the entirety of it." Having this uncompromised independence is not only healthy but attractive. It prevents the desperation that often causes people to cling to unfulfilling relationships out of fear of being alone. Smart men are emotionally secure enough to cut ties if their needs aren't met, making their partnerships that much stronger. 10. Smart men never act prematurely. While chemistry is obviously an important component of romantic connection, smart men are able to resist the urge to act solely on lust and primal desire alone. They recognize lasting partnerships require a mental and emotional attraction as well. Before getting physically intimate, the smart man works to build a substantive foundation of understanding with his partner first. What are their values and long-term goals? Do their personalities complement each other in a sustainable way? Is there mutual respect, admiration, and intellectual stimulation present? Without this, they risk ending up in a fling or relationship based primarily on fiery physical attraction that inevitably crashes and burns. By getting to know someone's full personhood before getting physical, the smart man avoids the emotional turmoil of lust-driven infatuation withering into resentment. He's playing the long game, focused on forging a profound bond that only deepens over time. Short-term pleasure means nothing compared to cultivating a soul-sustaining partnership. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comments section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe this video.